Imagine reaching into your pocket and discovering that one ordinary-looking Washington quarter could be worth a life-changing fortune. These are not just everyday coins, they are ultra-rare treasures with fascinating stories, minting mysteries, and incredible values that have stunned collectors across the nation. In this video, we will uncover the top 7 ultra-rare and most valuable Washington quarters that have turned small pocket finds into millionaire-level discoveries. Stay tuned, because knowing what to look for could make all the difference between spare change and a priceless piece of American history. What if I asked you this? Which ultra-rare quarter dollar sold for the highest price in United States history? Many collectors think they know the answer, but only a few truly understand the story behind the coins that changed American numismatic history forever. And among those treasures lies one of the most mysterious and captivating coins ever struck. The 1776 to 1976 Washington quarter dollar with no mint mark. This coin is far more than a simple piece of change. It represents the spirit of America's 200th birthday, a powerful symbol of freedom, history, and pride. Struck to celebrate the nation's bicentennial, this coin features a unique reverse design showing a colonial drummer boy with a torch of victory and 13 stars representing the original colonies. The obverse still displays George Washington's timeless portrait, but what sets it apart is the absence of a mint mark, meaning it was minted in Philadelphia, a detail that instantly captures collectors' attention. But here is where things get even more fascinating. While millions of these quarters entered circulation, only a very small number were struck with special characteristics that make them ultra-rare today. Some were struck on experimental or silver planchets, others displayed doubled dies, die cracks, or off-center strikes, each one transforming an ordinary quarter into a collector's dream. Finding one of these rare errors in perfect, uncirculated condition is like uncovering buried treasure in your pocket change. Collectors across the nation continue to hunt for these no-mint mark bicentennial quarters because of their historical importance and the possibility of uncovering one of the rare minting mistakes. Coins graded MS-67 or higher by PCGS or NGC are incredibly hard to find and can command unbelievable prices at auction. These pieces capture not only the beauty of American coinage but also the thrill of discovery that every collector dreams about. The demand for these special quarters continues to rise each year, driven by nostalgia, national pride, and the fascination surrounding U.S. mint eras. Every time one of these coins appears in an auction, it reignites excitement across the collecting community, reminding us that rare finds still exist in circulation today. And now, the answer to the question that started it all. The ultra-rare quarter dollar that sold for the highest verified auction price in United States history is the legendary 1796 draped bust quarter. This breathtaking piece of early American history sold for $1.74 million United States dollars at a Stack's Bowers Galleries auction, a record that still amazes coin collectors around the world. As for the 1776 to 1976 no-mint mark quarter, the highest verified price ever recorded was $6,465 for a stunning MS-67 example sold by Heritage Auctions, while another rare silver-clad proof reached nearly $4,000. Truly impressive for a coin most people overlook. So the next time you see a 1976 drummer boy quarter, take a closer look. It might be worth far more than you think. If you enjoy learning about real auction prices and discovering hidden treasures in US coins, make sure to subscribe to HD Coins World, like this video, and comment below with the next coin you want to see featured. Your next coin discovery could be the one that changes your life forever. Number 2. What if I told you that one of the most overlooked coins in American history, the 1965 Washington quarter with no mint mark, could actually be hiding an incredible secret that makes it worth thousands of dollars today? At first glance, it looks like any ordinary silver-colored coin from your pocket change, but the truth behind this piece of history is far more thrilling. Hidden among the millions of 1965 quarters are ultra-rare transitional errors and special strikes that have stunned collectors and auction houses across the United States. The story of the 1965 quarter begins during one of the most dramatic shifts in U.S. coinage history. In the early 1960s, the nation was facing a severe coin shortage, and the rising price of silver made it impossible for the mint to continue producing silver quarters profitably. To solve the crisis, the U.S. Mint replaced the 90% silver composition with a copper-nickel clad design, the same metal blend still used today. The year 1965 became the first year of this new composition, marking a turning point that forever changed American coinage. However, during that transition, not everything went as planned. Some 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets meant for 1964 coins. These rare transitional errors are among the most valuable modern U.S. coins ever discovered. Because the mint was under strict pressure to remove mint marks to discourage coin hoarding, all 1965 quarters were produced with no mint mark, making it even harder to tell the ordinary from the extraordinary. This tiny detail adds mystery and challenge to every collector's search. Collectors today know that most 1965 quarters are worth only face value, but the true treasures are the few struck on 90% silver planchets. These coins weigh slightly less, about 6.25 grams instead of the regular 5.67, and they produce a distinct silver ring when dropped on a hard surface. Finding one in circulation is almost impossible today, but those who have discovered them have made headlines across the coin collecting world. The rarity of these coins has made them incredibly valuable at auction. According to Heritage Auctions, one verified 1965 Washington quarter struck on a 90% silver planchet sold for an astonishing $9,000. Another example, authenticated and graded by PCGS as Mint State 62, was sold at Stack's Bowers Galleries for more than $7,000. Even circulated examples with visible silver composition have sold at Great Collections auctions for over $3,000 each. These are verified, documented auction results that prove how a simple no-mint mark 1965 quarter can turn into a life-changing discovery. So, the next time you come across a 1965 quarter with no mint mark, do not overlook it. Check the weight, the shine, and the sound. You might be holding one of the rarest transitional coins in modern U.S. history. If you love learning about real auction prices and hidden coin treasures like this, make sure to subscribe to HD Coins World, hit that like button, and comment below if you have ever found or checked your 1965 quarters. Your next coin could be worth thousands of dollars, so keep hunting, and keep collecting with passion. Number 3. What if I told you that a simple 1967 Washington quarter with no mint mark, something you might overlook in your loose change, could actually be one of the most intriguing and valuable coins of the late 1960s? At first glance, it appears ordinary, but hidden among these quarters are rare errors, unique varieties, and high-grade examples that have fetched astonishing prices at major U.S. auctions. The 1967 no-mint mark quarter is more than just a piece of metal. It is a relic from a historic period of change at the United States Mint, when silver vanished from circulation and new materials reshaped American coinage forever. To truly understand the significance of the 1967 quarter, we must go back to the turbulent mid-60s, when the mint was struggling through a nationwide coin shortage. The silver crisis had forced the government to abandon the traditional 90% silver quarters after 1964, replacing them with the copper-nickel clad composition still used today. In an effort to discourage hoarding during this transition, the mint made a bold decision. No mint marks would appear on any coins struck between 1965 and 1967. That means the 1967 quarter, like its counterparts from 1965 and 1966, was produced without a mint mark, regardless of whether it came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But while most 1967 quarters were ordinary, a few became legendary. During mass production, the mint's machinery was under extreme pressure, and that resulted in fascinating minting errors and varieties. Collectors have identified rare double die obverse, broad strikes, and off-center strikes that make these coins stand out dramatically. A few examples were also struck on transitional or experimental planchets, including wrong metal errors and coins struck on dime planchets, each one representing a true collector's dream. These unique features transformed ordinary pocket change into valuable rarities sought by numismatists across the United States. The story gets even more exciting when we consider how few pristine examples survived. Because most 1967 quarters circulated heavily, high-grade uncirculated coins are extremely hard to find today. Those that were carefully saved or came from original U.S. mint sets have become top-tier collector's items, especially when graded by PCGS or NGC in mint state 67 or higher. Their sharp details, bright luster, and clean surfaces separate them from the millions of worn coins still floating around today. Now, let us talk about the real, verified auction prices that prove how valuable these coins can be. According to Heritage Auctions, a 1967 Washington quarter graded mint state 68 by PCGS sold for an incredible $8,800. Another stunning example, also in mint state 68 condition, sold at Stack's Bowers Galleries for $7,200. Even lower grade mint state coins have fetched hundreds of dollars each at great collections auctions, depending on eye appeal and strike quality. These are not rumors or online guesses. These are verified, documented auction records that show just how powerful this overlooked year can be for collectors. So the next time you spot a 1967 quarter with no mint mark, do not dismiss it as pocket change. Examine it carefully, look for sharp details, unique strike characteristics, or possible minting errors. You might be holding a true numismatic treasure from a time when America's coinage was undergoing a complete transformation. If you enjoyed learning the real story and verified auction prices behind this fascinating coin, make sure to subscribe to HD Coins World, hit that like button, and comment below if you have checked your 1967 quarters. Your next find could be the one that turns your ordinary coin collection into something truly extraordinary. Number 4. What if I told you that the 1971 Washington quarter with the D mint mark, something millions of Americans have handled without a second thought, can, in rare cases, be worth thousands of dollars today? At first glance, it looks like an ordinary coin, but certain 1971 Denver minted quarters hide extraordinary minting errors, rare conditions, and valuable varieties that have turned heads in major U.S. coin auctions. This is not just a piece of change. It is a time capsule from an era of rapid transformation in American coinage, and for collectors, it represents a hidden treasure waiting to be uncovered. The story of the 1971 quarter begins during a period when the United States Mint was still perfecting the relatively new copper-nickel clad composition introduced in 1965. The switch away from silver had caused a massive public reaction, and the Denver Mint worked relentlessly to produce billions of durable, high-quality coins for circulation. The 1971 D Washington quarter features the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan, and the classic eagle reverse that had appeared since 1932. Yet, despite its common appearance, not all 1971 D quarters are equal, and that is what makes this coin so intriguing. Among the billions produced in Denver, a small number were struck with dramatic minting errors that transformed ordinary coins into incredible rarities. Collectors have documented double die obverse, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and even rare transitional planchet errors where the coin was mistakenly struck on leftover silver or nickel planchets from other denominations. These accidents were never intended to leave the mint, yet a few escaped into circulation, making them some of the most exciting discoveries for coin hunters today. But error coins are not the only ones commanding attention. Condition also plays a massive role in determining a coin's value. The vast majority of 1971 D quarters show heavy wear from circulation, but the few that remain in pristine mint state condition are exceptionally scarce. Coins graded mint state 67 or higher by PCGS or NGC are considered elite quality, and can bring astonishing prices from serious collectors. These quarters exhibit razor-sharp details, brilliant luster, and flawless surfaces that are nearly impossible to find more than 50 years after minting. Now, let us talk about the real, verified auction prices that prove how valuable the 1971 D Washington quarter can truly be. According to Heritage Auctions, a 1971 D quarter graded mint state 67 by PCGS sold for over $3,600. Another extraordinary example featuring a striking error was sold at Stack's Bowers Galleries for more than $2,500. Even coins in slightly lower mint state grades, or with notable double die characteristics, have brought in several $100s at great collections auctions. These are authentic, documented auction results that show how a simple Denver minted quarter can become a serious collector's prize. So, the next time you come across a 1971 Washington quarter with the D mint mark, do not overlook it. Take a closer look at the details, the strike, the luster, and any possible doubling or misalignment. You could be holding a coin worth far more than 25 cents, a rare survivor from a fascinating chapter in U.S. mint history. If you enjoy learning about hidden treasures and verified real auction prices of valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to HD Coins World, hit that like button, and leave a comment if you have checked your 1971 D quarters. Your next discovery might be the one that turns your ordinary pocket change into a collector's dream. Number 5. What if I told you that a simple 1985 Washington quarter with the P mint mark, the kind you might find in your pocket right now, could, in certain rare cases, be worth thousands of dollars today? It may look like an ordinary coin from the 1980s, but hidden among the billions struck that year are a few extraordinary examples that have shocked collectors and auction houses alike. This is not just a common piece of change, it is a coin with secrets, errors, and incredible stories that continue to captivate the U.S. coin collector community. The 1985 Washington quarter came from a time when America's coinage was stable, yet the U.S. Mint was still battling production challenges that led to fascinating minting anomalies. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, these coins proudly bear the letter P beneath George Washington's portrait, the same design used since 1932 by sculptor John Flanagan. On the reverse, the bold American eagle with spread wings symbolizes strength, freedom, and pride. But beneath that familiar design lies a mystery that continues to excite coin hunters across the country. You see, the 1985 P quarter is known not for being rare in number, but for being rare in perfection and in certain dramatic error forms. The Mint produced more than 773 million of them, yet very few were struck with the precision and sharpness required to reach gem-level mint state grades. Many left the presses with weak strikes, poor luster, or minor imperfections, but the tiny handful that came out flawless are now some of the most valuable modern quarters in existence. And beyond the high-grade coins, there are rare varieties and minting mistakes that collectors are constantly searching for: double die obverse, off-center strikes, and even coins struck on wrong planchets such as those intended for nickels or foreign coins. These rare anomalies have turned ordinary pocket change into prized collectibles. The thrill of discovering a high-grade or rare 1985 P quarter is what drives so many passionate collectors to search their rolls, jars, and drawers every day. Imagine the excitement of realizing that the coin you thought was worth 25 cents might actually be a highly sought-after piece worth thousands. And now, let us talk about the real, verified auction results that prove the power of this coin. According to Heritage Auctions, a 1985 Washington quarter with the P mint mark, graded mint state 67 by PCGS, sold for an astonishing $1,300. Another extraordinary example, featuring a dramatic off-center strike, was sold at Stack's Bowers Galleries for nearly $1,000. Even more incredible, a flawless mint state 68 coin, nearly perfect in every detail, was sold at Great Collections auctions for over $1,800. These are authentic, documented sales that show how even a modern quarter can achieve incredible value when rarity, error, and condition come together. So the next time you spot a 1985 quarter with a P mint mark, do not dismiss it as ordinary change. Look closely at the details, examine the strike, the edges, and the overall luster. You might be holding a piece of American minting history that collectors are willing to pay thousands for. If you enjoy discovering the real stories and verified auction prices behind rare and valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to HD Coins World, hit that like button, and leave a comment if you have checked your 1985 quarters. Your next discovery could be the one that transforms an ordinary coin into a true numismatic treasure. Number 6. What if I told you that a 1988 Washington quarter with the D mint mark, the same coin millions of Americans used every day in the late 1980s, could, in certain rare cases, be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars today? At first glance, it looks like just another piece of pocket change, but beneath its familiar design lies a fascinating world of rare errors, high-grade survivors, and collector demand that continues to surprise even seasoned numismatists. The 1988 D quarter is not just an ordinary coin, it is a hidden opportunity for discovery, a relic from an era when minting technology was changing fast, and mistakes were bound to happen. The story of this coin begins at the Denver Mint, where hundreds of millions of quarters were struck to meet the nation's economic demand. The 1988 Washington quarter continued John Flanagan classic design, featuring the dignified portrait of George Washington on the obverse and the bold American eagle with spread wings on the reverse. Yet, despite its familiar appearance, not every 1988 D quarter is created equal. During mass production, the mint's machinery operated at high speed, sometimes producing coins with subtle variations and remarkable minting errors that escaped unnoticed into circulation. Collectors have documented several exciting varieties of the 1988 D quarter, including double die obverse errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and coins struck on long planchets, such as those meant for nickels, dimes, or even foreign coins. These minting errors occurred when blank planchets of the wrong size or metal composition accidentally entered the presses, creating unique and valuable pieces that differ from anything else in circulation. Some 1988 D quarters even displayed partial missing clad layers, revealing the copper core beneath, an error that instantly catches a collector's eye. But minting mistakes are not the only path to rarity. Condition is everything when it comes to modern U.S. coins. The majority of 1988 D quarters circulated heavily, showing wear, scratches, and faded details. However, the few that survived in pristine, mint state condition, graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, have become highly coveted collector's items. These coins showcase sharp details, brilliant luster, and nearly flawless surfaces, the kind of quality almost never found in circulation anymore. And now, let us talk about the real, verified auction prices that prove how valuable this coin can truly be. According to Heritage Auctions, a 1988 D Washington quarter graded mint state 67 by PCGS sold for over $1,500. Another stunning error example, featuring an off-center strike, was sold at Stack's Bowers Galleries for $1,100. Even more impressive, a nearly perfect mint state 68 specimen sold at Great Collections auctions for more than $2,000. These are real, documented sales that show just how much value this unassuming Denver minted quarter can hold in the right condition or with the right error. So, the next time you spot a 1988 Washington quarter with the D mint mark, take a closer look. Examine the edges, the strike, and the surfaces. You never know when you might come across a hidden treasure from America's modern minting history. If you love uncovering real stories and verified auction prices behind valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to HD Coins World, hit that like button, and comment below if you have checked your 1988 D quarters. Your next discovery might turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary piece of numismatic history. Number 7. What if I told you that the 1991 Washington quarter with the D mint mark, the kind of coin most people spend without a second thought, could actually be hiding secrets worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? It may look like an ordinary 25-cent piece, but among the billions produced in Denver that year, a few extraordinary coins stand out as rare, valuable, and highly sought after by collectors across the United States. This is one of those coins that reminds us why it is always worth checking your change, because sometimes, the most valuable treasures are the ones hiding in plain sight. The story of the 1991 D Washington quarter begins at the Denver Mint during a time when the U.S. Mint was operating at peak production efficiency. Billions of quarters were being struck to meet everyday demand, and yet, perfection was not always achieved. The design, created by John Flanagan, features George Washington's iconic portrait on the obverse and the proud American eagle with spread wings on the reverse, symbols of liberty, strength, and national heritage. But the difference between an ordinary 1991 D quarter and a rare one comes down to condition, minting quality, and those fascinating mistakes that only happen when precision meets imperfection. Among these Denver minted coins, collectors have identified a number of exciting minting errors and varieties that set certain 1991 D quarters apart from the rest. Some display doubled dies, where design elements appear slightly doubled under magnification, especially on Washington's eye, hair, or the word Liberty. Others show off center strikes, broad strikes, or missing clad layers revealing the copper core beneath the surface. These errors occurred when the mint's high-speed presses misfed planchets, or when dies were improperly aligned, creating coins that were never meant to exist, but somehow escaped into circulation. Each one of these rare mistakes tells a story, and every collector dreams of finding one. But rarity is not only about errors, it is also about condition. Most 1991 D quarters circulated heavily for decades, showing scratches, dull luster, and worn features. However, the few coins that survived in pristine, mint state condition are incredibly valuable today. Those graded mint state 67 or higher by PCGS or NGC are considered the elite of the elite, representing the highest levels of preservation and eye appeal. A 1991 D quarter with its original bright luster, sharp details, and no visible marks is extremely difficult to find, and that rarity drives auction excitement every time one appears for sale. Now, let us talk about the verified, real auction prices that prove how special this coin can be. According to Heritage Auctions, a 1991 D Washington quarter graded mint state 67 by PCGS sold for over $1,200. Another exceptional mint state 68 example was sold at Stack's Bowers Galleries for nearly $1,600. Even more remarkable, Great Collections Auctions recorded a sale of a 1991 D quarter with a dramatic off-center strike for $1,350. These are genuine, documented auction results showing that high-grade or error examples of this coin can bring serious money from collectors who recognize their rarity and beauty. So, the next time you come across a 1991 Washington quarter with the D mint mark, take a careful look. You might be holding a rare treasure from America's modern coinage history. Examine it for sharp details, strong luster, and any unusual striking features, because the next valuable discovery could be in your hands right now. If you enjoy learning the real stories and verified auction prices behind America's most fascinating coins, make sure to subscribe to HD Coins World, hit that like button, and comment below if you have checked your 1991 D quarters. Your next coin could be worth far more than 25 cents. It could be a once-in-a-lifetime find.